Welcome Clashers one and all, thank you so much for stopping by Galadon Gaming for a little Valkyrie discussion. Now the question really is, level 5 Valkyries, are they overpowered or is this just payback for years of neglect? The red-headed stepchild of Clash of Clans. Suddenly now, they are so absolutely powerful that even Galadon can 3-star a nearly maxed out base with these puppies. Now of course, the question is, are they going to stay this way? And I will get to that at the end of this video, maybe a little bit of a miniature Gala rant, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, this is my standard army, 25 Valkyries, 4 bowlers, and 4 rage spells. It's the magic 4s, 4 bowlers, 4 wall breakers, 4 rage spells, 4 earthquake spells, and more often than not, 3 stars, especially on these big open base designs. You can see just how lightning fast these Valkyries are. They begin that attack so quickly that under rage, it is just enormous. The amount of attacking power, the DPS that they put out is silly. And will it stay that way? I don't know. Again, I'll talk about that a little bit later, but this right now could change the face of Town Hall 11, as clan wars are definitely going to see these being used. Queen Walk Valkyrie, but the real problem is that you don't even need Queen Walk Valkyrie in a lot of these bases, or Go Valk or anything like that. Just throw in a bunch of Valkyries, a bunch of rage spells. Make sure that you keep those Valkyries under rage as much as possible. That's really the only way you could possibly screw up this attack, is to misplace the rage spells and not predict the pathing of the Valkyries. So the keys really are just placing those earthquake spells, opening up as much of the interior of the base as possible on the outside, getting through one layer of walls, and then timing and placement of the rage spells. It's really about the same as the difficulty level of a mass dragon attack. So is this going to change? I don't know. Again, let's go ahead and wrap up this raid. That is 3 stars for Galadon, and we'll take a look at some of my recent attack wins. So yeah, the 3-star attacks are coming pretty frequently, especially against this base design. So I made video after video after video warning people against the 4 corners bases, the open interior base designs, yet they still exist even after all this time. And maybe this is the way that Supercell is issuing punishment to all these people for keeping these antiquated base designs. They are just going to get annihilated by mass Valkyries. And here is Caboose from Lost Phoenix with a very similar attack. Once again, 25 Valkyries, but this time just a pair of rage spells and 8 earthquake spells. So the insurance here is the openings of the walls are going to be there when you have 8 earthquake spells. Just 2 rage. It makes the placement a little more critical. Well, maybe not critical, but a little more important than when you have 4 and you can practically carpet the base like it's a developer raid and you're using 300 troops. That's what it feels like when you drop 25 or so Valkyries and a bunch of rage spells. They just get in there, wipe everything out of the core, and the 3-star really comes down to whether or not the units can finish off the outer structures, because the core is just going to be hollowed out like a donut every single time, and it's just going to be a matter of, will the golems that you sent in tank for the heroes? Will the heroes last long enough? And will the Valkyries maybe get through some of the walls? Like you see at the top of the screen, the last of the Valkyries are still doing work, getting through that wall, leading the way for the golem, working their way back in and connecting with the Archer Queen, who almost has no health left, but it doesn't matter. She stays up. The Barbarian King is going to do the rest of the work down here. She is going to catch up, and you see the Grand Warden almost at full health as well. Caboose with a 3-star win and 9 trophies. Moving on to another attack replay, this one from Mage Cope against a nearly maxed out base. Again, that open base design, and again, you've got the earthquake spells and just a pair of rage. So Cope bringing the 8 earthquake spell, 2 rage attack. And so part of me is hoping that this is just the Valkyries being ahead of the bases, and that a lot of these bases, as you've seen, either have mortars under construction, or the Inferno Towers are under construction, or they're not upgraded to level 4 yet. And as those defenses catch up to the new update, that we will see more of a natural balancing of this attack, and suddenly the Valkyries won't seem quite that overpowered when they're faced with fully maxed out live defenses. Right now, in a lot of these attacks, again, you'll see multiple defensive structures under construction. So again, I hope that is the case. If it's not, I'll get to that a little bit later in this episode. But right here, Mage Cope, again, just annihilating the core of this base. Everything just vaporizes. These Valkyries are the big bad wolf, and the core of this base was the straw house built by the little piggies. Yes, it didn't stand up, and obviously Mage Cope on his way to another 3-star win. Again, it comes down to the placement of those heroes and really some luck later on in this battle. You can see though, there's still a big group of Valkyries, and these buildings are just bursting as the Valkyries just waste them one after the other, and of course the AI of the Valkyrie going after 2 structures at a time whenever possible, and quickly 88% damage. The Barbarian King at the bottom of your screen is still nearly at full health, and it will be that King, the Grand Warden, and just a few Valkyries that clean up the last structures in this village and wrap up another impressive 3-star win with mass Valkyries. And these replays are not isolated incidents. This is what is happening probably 50% of the time, maybe more than that, with this base design. Now here, Nyx is going to use a little more strategy and maybe a little more skill in the deployment of his troops than you might see from, say, a Galadon attack. So he's very careful with the earthquakes, and here he uses a pair of jump spells placed just over the edges of the 4 corners, the 2 corners of this 4 corners base, and then he drops in a pair of golems followed by 4 giants, and then some wizards to clear out the surrounding structures. The heroes in first before the Valkyries, so you've got all the tank units in there distracting the defenses, and last, and of course not least, here come the Valkyries on 2 sides. He's got 2 rage spells. First one goes in really early. The Warden's Eternal Tome on these type attacks is good to use early because just the speed of the Valkyries getting away from you so fast, they will be out of range of that Eternal Tome, which has that smaller radius, very, very quickly. But you can see Nyx has done a great job. Everybody's spreading out throughout the base now. Both the King and the Queen still have their abilities in hand, and he saved a couple of archers just in case maybe one structure gets left behind somewhere. But he is well on his way to a 3-star here, and once again, it comes down to late in the attack like this, just a matter of where the heroes are placed. Will the King maybe be able to tank for the Queen and the Warden? And that is exactly what we were seeing right here. As the King starts to move downward, he is going to use his ability. The Queen uses hers as well, and even though she's almost down, she still hangs on. And the key being, the King has taken the damage, the Queen is able to stay up longer, and Nyx is able to wrap up a beautiful 3-star attack against another Legend League player with an above average deployment of mass Valkyries. And there it is, 100%, 3 stars, and 26 trophies. Alright, so it is time to talk a little bit about what I fear might be coming and why I'm not happy about it. So in the meantime, we will watch Torgus99. He is going to 3-star the heck out of this base with just level 4 Valkyries. Now the level 4 Valkyries were nerfed in that little post-update maintenance that we saw a few days back. And that's okay, that's understandable. They did not touch level 5 Valkyries, however, and here's my issue. I feel like they're going to. Okay, now if they don't, then everything I'm about to say you can just disregard. It's just me babbling on. But if they do indeed nerf level 5 Valkyries because of these mass Valkyrie attacks, then you have to start to wonder about what is going on, because this is a pattern that we have seen happen in the past. Hog Riders, when they were first introduced, oh no, they're too powerful, people are using mass Hog Riders and 3-starring all over the place, we've got to tune them down a little bit. And then the same happened with Witches. And now, could the same happen with Valkyries? It's possible, but they just introduced level 5 Valkyries, so everybody who wants that power, who wants it early, maybe they've gone out and gemmed it, and now suddenly it's going to be taken away. Really seems like the old bait and switch to me. Level 5 Valkyries, oh, you gotta have them? Well, nope. They're not so powerful anymore now that you've spent the resources, the time, or the gems to get them up to level 5. We'll see, again, hoping that doesn't happen, hoping defenses just need to catch up. But if it does, then I'm calling foul for sure. So we'll see, who knows, maybe it's happened by the time this episode is released. In the meantime, thank you guys so much. Please do let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Subscribe for daily Clash content, early update and sneak peek information, and of course, I hope to see every last one of you back here again tomorrow for more full attacks.
Galadon They better not touch my baby cries. Those are my ladies.